I don't want to talk about this team as a title team. I don't want to talk about this team as a lottery team. It's 28-26. You got 28 games. Can you get up to 7?
Got
Can you
one
get up to
tonight.
8? Can you get up to 6? Okay, now we go to the playoffs. Then what? We win a first-round series just like last year? Oh, we didn't? We get beat in the first round by Denver? Okay, now maybe we got to take a real good hard look at things and make some tough decisions. You win a round? You look pretty good in the second? That might be a little harder. But you win a couple rounds? You win a couple rounds, that makes it easy to try to get Clay back here. Hope Kuminga and Pods take another step. Jackson Dale Davis's kid takes another step.
Had a good game last night.
You know, then look, you get to you win 2 rounds. You're in the Final Four of the NBA. Well, at that point, there's no need for wholesale changes, even if your guys are getting up there.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing
they're in a
about
good
it,
spot.
They are.
No, let me put it this way. I think the Warriors have found themselves in a good spot where at the end of the season, they'll be able to soberly look at where they're at and move forward in a way that I think most fans will be like, okay, we understand. Whether it's running it back entirely, whether it's running it back without Clay and Paul, whether it's making wholesale changes. But I think that's the beauty of this year. I think how they finish, I think it's going to be apparent what they're going to need to do.
Yeah, and I hear you talking, and I know where you set your limitations in regard to what you don't want to hear. But the beautiful part about this and why that building was packed last night is everybody looks at life different. Some fantasize, some forward think, you know, and just looking at this Golden State Warrior team, when you set out what you just talked about after this year, but what if this year culminates in a Western Conference Finals trip? You know, some people fantasize like that.
Okay.
And I know
I'm allowing for that.
Well, no, you can't allow. People can do it because you can't control it.
No, I'm allowing for the fact that if they get to the Western Conference Finals, then maybe they just tinker in the offseason because they think they can then take another jump next year.
Yeah, and being in the arena last night, Steiny, and again, I don't want to go strength in numbers.
Action?
It was action.
Action?
Yeah, it was action. Bonte came over and hollered at us. So, you know, that was...
Bonte went up to the 3rd level? See you guys?
Why? Hey, Frankie brought up where I took you in those seats up by the wall where the pigeons were. But anyway,
I was proud to
we're in
sit up
section
there.
120. Shout out Brandon Ritter. But anyway...
Top of the lower bowl?
We had in the corner, right
below
there.
the media section?
Yeah, right there.
That's what
Anyway, yeah, shout out R double. But listen, Steiny, it's starting to remind me of strength in numbers in the sense that, Curry had 32. He was plus 25. He was on fire. But Jackson Davis, you didn't see him having a good game. Moody got action. Wiggins was impactful. Dre, you know, just quiet but a good game. Yeah. Like, they're not a one-trick pony.
See, you know what's funny?
I just feel like this. Let me give you a car analogy before you go.
Yep.
The Warriors have gotten a tune-up. They got new spark plugs. They didn't change the oil, the gaskets, the headers, and now it hitting the corners, Steiny, like a 454 block engine. That's what the Warriors are because they were a Pinto when Draymond was out. Yeah. Curry couldn't get off a 3, and now everything is just clicking. I don't know what the future holds, but you got to be people in that building. Oh my gosh, it just hit me, Steiny. They're starting to believe.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
Yeah,
you know what's funny?
Off the top.
It's amazing how you and I can sometimes look at things differently.
Well, black and white.
I swear to God.
Yeah.
The last thing I thought of as I'm watching that game last night is strength in numbers.
Oh, man.
The only thing, you know, you know what my first word of Matt Nahigian?
Give it to me.
Hey, dude, serious question. What are we going to do after Steph's gone?
But that ain't for a while.
I know, but my point is, don't get it twisted. It's all about Steph Curry.
Come on, yeah.
I'm looking at this game.
Come on,
I mean,
man.
under another circumstance, we could say Wiggins 8 for 14. Okay, that's okay. Kaminga 5 for 12.
Right, but not bad. He didn't hurt you.
But that's not strength in numbers.
Well,
Draymond Green, okay, 3 for 5, 8 points. Pajemski 3 for 12. He wasn't.
But I'm scouring. I'm looking
Steph
around.
Curry, bro.
Yeah, no, last night was Steiny, but my point is it's bigger than the box score against the Lakers. I'm just looking at the Lakers, what they got on their bench, and I'm looking at the Warriors and what they have. And Jonathan Kuminga, 5 of 12, wasn't bad, but nobody's out there killing you. Sarge went out there for a good 15 minutes, had 4 points.
You want to get to the Western Conference Finals? You better have guys play better than they played last night outside Curry.
Now, that's a whole different conversation. Steiny, I got it. And that game was 56-59. Lakers had a 2 or 3 point lead at one point. And then, they ran out of gas. But I'm just telling you, I like what I see. Pods was 3 of 12, but he does more. It's just not just about how, his shoot percentage from the field, man. Guys are growing up right in front of us, and I'm not telling you last night was Thanksgiving. Okay. That wasn't, you can look at it and I'll give you that. I'm just, okay, there's going to be a playoff game where Jackson Davis is needed. And the question is he going to be ready?
And that's where I'm not going. We don't know there's going to be a playoff game.
Or the play-in game.
But okay, but why do we have to do that? Why are we?
It's fun.
Yeah,
but it's not unrealistic. But you're right.
But to say, we're going to see Jackson Davis in a play, I don't know.
Are you really? Okay, I got a question for you and the people listening.
They're still in 10th.
Oh, no doubt.
They're still,
no doubt. It's a different feeling, man.
That's right. Yeah. That's fine. And they're still an older team. We don't know. They still got to stay healthy. Yeah. They got to stay healthy. Let's see how they do on this road trip.
I hate when you say that, but you're right.
Let's see how they do on the road trip. They got a couple tough. The Knicks they have, and who else?
Toronto.
No, I said 2 tough teams. They got Toronto. The Knicks in Boston?
No, it's not Boston.
Then it's Milwaukee. Milwaukee?
Yeah.
They got Denver. Oh, by the way, I got a message from Raymond Ritter, Warriors PR director.
What did he say?
Sunday's game against the Nuggets, do not forget, 4 o'clock start. It's a 4 o'clock start.
Let's go.
That's weird.
But you like it on a Sunday.
No. They're going to have, when they tip off on Sunday, mark my words, the arena will look empty.
God, I'm running
because everybody expects a 5 p.m. game on a Sunday.
No, but when the Warriors, it stops for me. Everything stops. So what I'm going to do in the morning, maybe some brunch, mimosas, but I'll have that. I'll be in about, so I turn Bonte on about 3. So I'll be, everything stops at 3. It starts at 3. My point is, for me,
there are going to be many, many people that think the game's at 5 because every Sunday game at Chase has been at 5 since the building was built.
But that's why I got the internet now.
That's why I got this message from Ritter. So you know what? By me doing this, maybe 83 people will be like, hey, let's not forget that game's at 4. Let's get there early. Unfortunately, the building holds 18,000.
The Warrior fans will be there, Raymond.
You want to bet?
I get you. It's an odd time, but it's a big game, too, against Denver. Send a message.
Why? Because
we haven't beat you the last 2 times we play.
You know what you are? You're like you go from 0 to 100 faster than any sports car I've ever seen in my entire life.
We've all agreed.
We're 2 games over 500.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And now we're going to send a message to the Denver Nuggets.
See, that's how you misunderstand me. It's the opportunity to do so.
Yeah,
if they win tonight, which we expect them to,
I'm not going there either.
But they take care of business. The math, the house doesn't fall down if somehow you slipped up against Denver. But
I thought they're sending a message to Denver.
That's my point. The opportunity will be there at 4 Sunday on national TV.
But even if
buckle up, even if they
stop it.
But even if they what?
You think that if they beat the Denver Nuggets, the Nuggets are like, wow. Did the Warriors send a message to us?
No, come on, man.
Well,
this will put a cherry on the top of the teams playing better. And you're the same guy 2 days ago that went through the victories that they had and kind of not nitpicking.
I'm not saying they're not
almost that.
But
this would be something I want for my Warrior team to be like, put Denver in there. They took them down at home. Okay. And I didn't say print up the finals tickets, but
you're saying send a message.
Win.
You're saying
this will be a quality.
You've already
win.
said Jackson Davis is going to play in the playoffs. Okay, playoffs.
You're missing the opportunity to play in the playoffs, Donnie. That's what I'm saying. Jackson Davis is going to be. He's going to be needed. And last night was against a Laker team. He had a good game. That's all. I'm not saying he's going to have 20 straight games. The point is, are you going to be ready when your number's called? And the further you go and the different matchups that present themselves with different teams and size being an issue for this team, Jackson Davis is going to be needed at some point.
You have the Warriors in the playoffs. You said Jackson Davis is going to be, and I'm saying I'm not going that far right now. They've won 9 of 11.
I won't fight you on that.
They're 2 over.
I got you.
I mean,
I won't fight you on that.
And
I'm a dude that thinks the play-in is the playoffs. I'm sorry. Where do those stats go? They're not the 82 regular season games. I don't care what the NBA tells me.
I mean, if you want to do it that way, Steph Curry probably has an MVP, doesn't he, in the play-in games? Hasn't he had monster play-in games?
Well, not the one against Memphis a few years ago where they lost. Remember, he didn't score in OT.
Or like 8 minutes. Let's go to KC.
The chef.
KC's in Marin. What's up, KC?
Gentlemen, good morning. Steiny, I appreciate your pragmatic viewpoint
That's
of the Warriors.
what it is. Thank you.
Yeah, it's very even-keeled, level-headed. I appreciate Goo's dreaming world, but let's be honest about this team. My thought is we need to start thinking about who's going to be the Warriors' number 1 option when Steph is going to be the number 2. Because he's 35, the team around him is getting old and slower, and their younger players have not established themselves as the heir apparents. So what's going to be done this season? They have to do a lot. If they run back this squad, I'm going to be really, really disappointed.
What if they get the Western Conference Finals, KC, and they run it back?
Wow, I thought that was Guru asking me that dream question. They're not going to win the Western Conference. Let's be realistic.
You don't know that.
Let's be realistic here. Oh, I think I don't know it, but I also know they're at the 10 seed right now after playing their butts off to win these past few games, and they're still the 10th seed looking up. It's a lot. It's a lot. I would rather be realistic. I would rather look to overhaul this team in the offseason. Get rid of Paul, get rid of Dre, get rid of Clay, get rid of Wiggins. If you need to get rid of Kuminga, you have to build around Steph as the number 2 option, not the number 1.
So he's going big
Thanks,
game
KC.
hunting, Steiny. I ain't mad at KC, but that's kind of unrealistic.
Why?
I mean, come on. Kuminga's going nowhere, and Dre's going nowhere, and especially if they lose in in the second. Let's just say they get to the conference semis like they did last year. Those aren't now. Paul, I believe, won't be back, and Clay, I think will.
I guess
it's all coming
this is
into
at the heart. This is at the heart of it, though. I guess.
Because that was a negative call, and not a bad thing, but you're not being when he gives you kudos for being, you just are
pragmatic.
Like, no,
Goo, I don't like. I take issue with you saying Kuminga's not going anywhere, Draymond's not going anywhere. What if they finish the season 12-18, and they finish 10th?
We'll talk about it then. You can't pick up the phone on a Friday after a victory.
Well, then don't say they're not going anywhere. Don't say they're not going anywhere if you haven't allowed for the possibility that they may not make the
still
playoffs.
Has his cape.
What if they don't make the playoffs?
Okay. What if I hit lotto?
Well, then don't say.
I can't live my life like I hit lotto before I hit the numbers. Steph is still Superman. Don't call here talking about Superman doesn't have his cape. That's negative. I don't live my life like that. I'm sorry.
But don't make a definitive statement,
which was
Kuminga and Draymond Green, they ain't going anywhere.
Well, I didn't do it until he called.
Well? Okay. What if they finish 10th and lose in the play-in?
Call me Kevin Garnett. Anything's possible. But for that guy to call or anybody to worry about Steph slowing down, pick up the phone when we see it. He can be LeBron James and ball at 40. You can't. It might be doubtful, Steiny, but as much as you fundamentally don't believe it might be possible,
I think
it can happen.
It is possible.
So why would he call and say he's worried Steph needs to be the number 2 option?
Because it's a very fair
therapy.
It's a very fair conversation.
Yeah, it's negative. That's all.
It's a fair conversation to say, can Steph Curry on this team as the best player lead this team to a championship? That's a fair question.
We're watching that right now, and
it's February, Goo.
Okay. What's your point?
My point is they have to sustain it.
Save that call after the season.
Oh, my gosh. All he said was, what if they make the Western Conference Finals? And he goes, I don't think that's going to happen, Steiny. Well, you know what, Steiny, I don't think it's going to happen either. But what I'm saying is, if it happens, then you reassess with that information.
Well, I guess my point, Steiny, is what happened to buckle up and enjoy the ride?
That's what we're doing.
No, we're not. We're talking about Steph as a number 2 option and guys being moved. Let's watch the movie. They're playing better. I thought they were down and out. I'm honest enough to say that. This team has done a 180 right before our eyes. And the guys talking about they need a number 2.
Well,
let's deal with that after the season's over. Right now, the team is clicking. Steph is clicking. Everything is good in the hood right now. I'm not telling you print up the champion. Hey, we're different. We're different. You got it.
There's such a long way to go. They're in a good spot now.
Right.
But Stephen,
tell me.
You can't say Kuminga and Draymond Green aren't going anywhere because that's not allowing for the fact that maybe they'll stumble on the way in.
All right.
Just like
because I was reacting to his call.
Maybe they'll be 20-8.
Yeah.
In the last 28 games, is that how many it is? 20?
Yeah, 28.
And they finished with 48 wins and win a couple rounds. To me, that was kind of the point. If let them play 28 games, where does it end?
Gotcha.
7, 8, 9, 10? Okay, can they win a playoff game and get to the playoffs? Okay, then what happens in the first round? Can they win a playoff series?
Right.
Well, if they can't win a first-round series, why would you say, no way Kuminga and Draymond are going anywhere if they might lose a first-round series? At that point, I'd say, well, maybe they will trade them now because they're going in a different direction. Now, if they go to the Western Conference Finals, then probably they're not going anywhere. But that's why I think this 28-game stretch and postseason is it's going to dictate their future. To me,
it's exciting.
It is. But and we can talk about whether they make a run or not. And Steiny, they're getting hot, and nobody wants to face them, and this and that and the other thing. And I'm just, because of who I am, I'm going to say, well, they still got to stay healthy.
And they're still at 10.
Maybe they'll stumble. I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, they're on the Lakers' ass. Lakers got a game tonight against the Spurs, but if somehow they were to slip up and the Warriors win, they would get to 9th. But I again, one game at a time. Shout out one day at a time, Snyder. But I'll tell you this, the 6th seed, if this team continues to just play good basketball, I mean, Steiny, we could be talking about them maybe out of the play-in. I know that's a stretch, but that's the fun part of this. We don't know what's going to happen. They control it by playing the games.
888-957-9570 is the number. Golden State Warriors, 28 games left. How are you viewing the rest of the season? Because the way I view it is I do believe the next 28 games, and we'll see if they play after those 28 games. They probably will, at least to play in. Then maybe they get to play. It's going to decide where they go. I think it's going to decide what they do, and I feel like Joe Lacob talking to Kawakami the other day essentially said that. You know what? We finished this thing off well. We can go one way. If it goes downhill, we could go another.
I ran into TK last night. Your name came up.
Peon in Oakland. What's up, Peon? How you doing?
I won't be bent over my back.
Hey, Peon.
Yeah, hey, sorry about that.
What's up, baby?
Hey, listen, man. It's funny. Something I saw encouraged me last night, and that was Clay doing the little things. He wasn't effective shooting, but I saw him playing defense. I saw him making the right pass instead of forcing his shot. When I saw that, I said, okay, Clay's locked in. He wasn't sulking. He wasn't pouting. He was congratulating those when they made good plays. That's what I needed to see. We don't know what's going to happen next year, but why do we need to know? Next year is next year. We're trying to figure out, what's going to changes are going to happen. Who cares? This year. We're fans. We're going to hold on to the wheels fall off. We're going to believe that they can win it all. Otherwise, what's the point? What's the point? We got to be right. We don't know we don't know what's going to happen next year. But why do we have to be the ones why do we have to be accurate on exactly what's going to happen next year?
Peon.
Changes are made every year to every team. And I agree with Goo. This team is better than the team last year.
Okay.
And that team last year won a playoff and went to the next round.
Okay. We will see. Do you have a fundamental problem with me saying, we still got Peon? Do you have a fundamental? No, we don't.
He's listening.
Does anybody have a fundamental problem with me saying, the next 28 games and what may happen afterwards, that's going to dictate where this team goes?
I have none.
Okay. So let's see where they go. 888-957-9570 is the number. 650 on the Comcast Business text line. Steph's going to win the MVP. How many 10th seeds have an MVP?
Yeah, he ain't got that on the side.
As well as he's playing. If we get there, Steph is MVP, right? Well, the playoffs, they vote before the playoffs. So the best, Steph's not winning the MVP.
Right.
Because they can probably only get to...
Right, I got you.
See, I don't think they can
He's playing well enough, but I got you. The team component of it ain't on his side right now.
All right, so are the Warriors going to catch the Sacramento Kings? Right now, the Kings are what do you think they're going to catch them? The Warriors right now are 3.5 behind the Kings. Kings are 32-23. Warriors are 28-26. Are they going to catch the Kings?
Steiny, I have to ask you this. Do they play Sacramento anymore this season?
Question.
And if you give me one,
tops.
I wouldn't rule that out. And Sac would struggle with San Antonio yesterday, but something's up with Sac. I can't put my finger on it. I think they could catch Sac.
All right. Can they catch Phoenix or Dallas?
Now,
Dallas has won 7 in a row.
No, Dallas is playing some damn good basketball. I'm going to say they can't catch Dallas because I don't see Dallas kind of lightweight falling out. But Phoenix, Steiny, something's up. And Bradley Beal, for whatever reason, his hammy is spammy, and he's out. So I wouldn't rule Phoenix out. I understand the journey is not going to be easy. This ain't baseball. You don't got 162. No, I know that, but that's why I love, how many head-to-heads do we got between those two, because that's a big one.
Oh, with who? It's Phoenix or Sac?
Both of them.
I think they got one. They have one. I don't know off the top of my head. I think it's going to be tough.
And I only took issue with the guy calling saying the Warriors needed a number 2 option because Curry can't handle. I mean, hey, you might be right in 2 years. This dude is showing you he is about to give you the LeBron platter as far as longevity and slippage. Curry is just in a zone right now, man.